What is up, guys? This is Real Estate with K&J. I'm Kyle. He's Justin. And today we are joined by Allison Looser. Sorry, I knew I'd butcher it. With Lillian House Home Stylist and Staging. We were talking last week. We started talking about getting your home ready to sell. We talked a little bit about a lot of things. Well, today we're going to kind of refine it a little more and talk about, getting your house looking the right way and what kind of goes into that and why staging and things like that are important. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So, diving into it, Allison, if you want to give some background, talk a little bit about what property staging is, because I'm sure not everyone knows about it. So if you want to just give some insight about that, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, hi, everybody. Allison Looser, Lillian House Home Stylist and Staging. This is a business that I started not too long ago. I actually owned a hair salon for almost 20 years. So I just recently closed that down. Well, actually didn't close it, passed it on to somebody else, and she's doing an amazing job. So I had a lot of clients, and it was not the easiest decision, but it was time. My kids are getting older, and I was traveling back to my hair salon. So the drive was just starting to get to be too much, and I was missing too much. So it was time.
Right.
And I've just always loved interior design. I think hairstyling and that kind of goes hand in hand. Just the creativity part of it. And I just love making things look pretty.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, you don't really think about it that way until you put it the way you did, that it's kind of just an expression of yourself, right? Where it's your home, it's your, your hair kind of thing, your style just kind of translates out into, your spot. So yeah, it's super neat.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's super cool. I'm excited. Yeah. So what are what's some of like the ones that what makes it challenging to kind of get into, say you walk into a home, someone gives you a call and they're like, hey, we need to get some staging and this and that. And you walk in, what's the worst case scenario for you when you walk into a house?
Probably worst case scenario is, and I haven't ran across this a ton.
Sure.
Is probably if it's not totally clean.
Yeah.
Sometimes there can be things that need done, and you're setting a really nice piece of furniture on something that probably should be cleaned up. Most realtors are excellent about taking care of that situation. I mean, all of them have been. I've just worked with some great realtors, so they just help me figure that out, or I just honestly just figured it out on my own. I know you guys are just as busy, and you're juggling a ton of things, and the last thing you need is me to call you and tell you the problems I'm having.
Yeah.
I just figured out. I mean, I would just say cleanliness at times, not always, just that can be a challenge.
Right. Yeah. Because I totally get that too, because I mean, like you said, if you're bringing in this awesome furniture, you want the house to be clean, putting it on there, but not only for that, but just for the sake of staging, just for the sake of a presentation of your home, having a nice spick and span definitely is a game changer. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And all the realtors I've worked with, they also understand that too. They want it to be just as clean, and so I appreciate
that's kind of what we talked about last week too, when we brought up, just for our listeners, the whole kind of meeting us halfway thing, where updates are a big thing, but also so is upkeep. So when you have someone coming out to do work and things like that, they're not having to dodge around all of your stuff.
Yes.
Things like that go a long way. Hey, we're trying to sell your home, but it is your home. You got to help us out a little bit here. So
yeah.
Right. Definitely got to meet halfway.
Yes, absolutely.
Another thing I know that Justin has kind of brought up before too, is there any scents or things like that you like to kind of go towards to kind of set the mood or anything like that?
I definitely think one of the main factors walking in that door, the first thing you're going to notice is the smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's, if you haven't been, and not that it could be a bad thing or a good thing. It's just, when you walk into something different that you're not used to being in around, you're going to notice it right away.
Yeah.
Where when we walk into our homes, when we're used to our homes, we can't even smell what our house smells like. We're just used to it.
Right.
But someone who's coming in for the first time, they're going to notice right away. So smell is a huge factor. And sometimes putting candles and all that stuff out there isn't always the best thing to do. Open up a window, air it out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that too if I'm staging, if it's necessary, just to get some fresh air flowing through there. And obviously you can do the little sensies, all those things help. But sometimes when you have such an overwhelming smell of a candle smell, you wonder, what are they hiding?
Yeah.
You know, it makes you think that too. But so getting some airflow going through there, sometimes it can just be that.
Yeah, like a subtle kiss on the cheek and less of like a slap on the face. Like, here's all this citrus.
Right. Especially with like, if you go in a house and they have like cats or, you know, any type of pets, really, you know, they all bring a specific scent throughout the house. So being able to tackle that. Yeah. Especially if you're just walking in.
Right. And we, you know, a lot of us have pets, and
oh yeah,
you know, they're a great thing to have. It's just, you just, when you're trying to sell your house, you don't want to smell your pet.
Sure.
Right.
So when, I guess, walk me through the process. Say you come out and you meet me, we'll say, and you're at my home. And what are the kind of like the first things you kind of start talking to your clients about to kind of get them in the groove of things?
Well, sometimes if the realtor is getting a hold of me, let's say like you have a seller and they want to use a stager, usually the realtor will suggest me, and then I will either take it from there. You don't have to worry about it at all. I'll call them, get it all figured out, talk with them, meet with them, and then that worry is off your plate. All you do is just kind of set up the, you know, the perfect situation for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I take it from there. And if I do that, then I'll the realtor usually will send me a link to the home. I'll look at the pictures, go through that. Just by seeing the pictures, I can tell what I think I need. And obviously I'm making a couple trips. So when I go there and see it, I'm like, oh, I've got something that'll look fabulous there. It really is just sending a link with the pictures on it tells me a lot.
Yeah.
And usually the realtor usually has a pretty good relationship with the seller, which is awesome. So they know, you guys know what your seller needs, and you let me know that. So it's like,
definitely.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you're fine. I was just gonna say that kind of leads me to my next question, I guess, is like, so a lot of the houses, at least like, so I live in West Toledo. So it's like most of the homes over here are like, you know, like 50s to like 70s.
Yeah.
And there's some funky, you know, kind of styles back then, right? So and some things just haven't been updated ever.
Yeah.
So when you walk in on something like that, and you know, you have like tie-dye carpet or something like that, or crazy wallpaper. Yeah. What are some ways to kind of work around that stuff when you have like a blue couch and red carpet, you know?
Yeah. Well, no, I get it. Sometimes I like doing houses like that, to be honest, because I feel it's a challenge, and I feel like, wow, you know, I've got something that I think I can make this make sense, you know. Sometimes when it's carpet, I look at it as people are going to understand. They're typically probably not going to keep the carpet. They're going to look over that. But if you can give them an idea of what the space can actually be, that really helps sell that room, you know?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. It's all just, bringing everything together in a positive light, just letting them know what it can be.
Right. Another question. So let's say you go out to a house. Well, before you go out, what are some things that, you know, sellers can do prior to you coming out and staging the house to make it, you know, make their house stand out even more? Like, can they change fixtures, or what are some like recommendations like that?
Yes, I actually, staged a house not too long ago, and the house was a really neat house, and the realtor had a great relationship with the seller, and she sent me a link of the pictures, and then I started talking to the seller because she passed it on to me. So then I talked to the seller, and I suggested, you know, a great thing would be changing all the fixtures in the house to black, just something more, you know, up to date. And he was super willing. Change them out and look great. And the realtor actually texted me, and she said she really appreciated, you know, that I suggested that. Sometimes it helps too. Like I said, it takes some things off of your plate that you don't have to worry about. Yeah. Or you even have to get involved in, or say you can let someone.
So I mean, there's been plenty of instances for me even where it's like, hey, you know, this yellow wall, I mean, if we can maybe do this in like a gray or something more neutral. And they're just like, relax, man, you're the realtor, you do that stuff. And then, you know, when you come in and you have a suggestion like, oh, well, you know, the interior design woman said we should go this route. And I was like, I wonder why she says that.
Yes, right? When you know exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. And that's another thing too, is that sometimes if people don't even need my staging, maybe they just need me to come in for an hour or 2 hours, just to make suggestions.
Yeah.
Right.
There's lots of avenues, to
and it's a super awesome tool, I think, and it's something that people should definitely look into. I mean, Justin and I can, there's plenty of instances where you're looking at pictures or you have a client that's like, oh, this home looks fantastic. And then you already know you've been in this house last week and it's just, these pictures are doctored up.
Yes.
Right.
Misleading.
And then you get in there and then the home doesn't look like the pictures. And then the whole time you kind of have like that negative kind of like feel to the whole tour, right? Where,
you feel duped.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get into a home that's been, staged properly and it looks nice and it's clean. And you get in there and I mean, Justin, like I said, you turn the key and you walk in and it's just like, one spouse looks at the other and they're like, I told you so. Like,
right. Actually,
I told you this.
Like
I told you that.
For a change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Instead of just kind of, man, this doesn't look like the pictures.
Exactly. I always like to whatever door you guys are bringing your client through, I like to make that right when you open the door, I want you to be wowed. Like, that first impression is so important, because when you're going back home and you're mulling over it and you're stressing about it, that first feeling that you have doesn't leave you. It makes you want to go back. It's something that if you forget, I don't think you forget feelings. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It's the same with music. Like, you remember some songs, but you remember why the song, because it makes you feel this way. So
yes,
literally,
I totally agree.
That's what they say, especially with houses. It's, when you have a listing, you're pretty much trying to sell the buyer within, the first 30 seconds that they walk in the door. So just being able to capture such a positive image and, make it overwhelming for them to where they just fall in love. It definitely could make or break, on how fast and how much you could sell your house for.
Absolutely. Because when you're at that door and you're excited to see it, when you walk in, you want to be wowed. You don't want to just be like, oh, that's nice. Like, right away when you walk in that door, it should make you want to go in and see the rest of it. Because I'm sure sometimes you have people open up and they're like, I don't even want to go on anymore.
Oh yeah. I did a 2-minute showing.
Yeah.
Literally walk in, it's like, nope, walk right back out. Don't even make it past the living room. It's like, sorry.
And then it's like, oh man, I spaced these houses half an hour apart. Why'd I do that?
That's the worst.
You got time to kill.
Yeah.
Right. So that first impression, that just means a lot, at least, because they could come in and not be wowed right away. And they really could be missing some great parts of that house. And they want to just turn it down immediately, when it could be the house for them. It's just not staged right. Right.
Mm-hmm. So say we have a client, totally vacant house. We'll say that, just hypothetically, they been renting for years and, they get a hold of you. Do you guys do like furniture that you can kind of provide if needed for like a vacant house? Or say there's no restrictions, like the house is just empty and they want it to be painted in the best light that it can be. What are like kind of all the stops you guys can kind of pull out for them?
Well, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to decorate that home like someone lives there. I want to sell that house for you just as much as I want my side to do well. If I'm doing a good job for you, you want to use me again. So I'm going to make that house look good. I love to decorate. First of all, I just love it. So when I get in there and I see these houses, I just take a walk around first and I just imagine myself living there. Yeah. And I just want to put as much love into that house as I would my own. And I feel like when you are doing that, nothing can go wrong, I mean, I'm sure a lot of things can go wrong, but
sure. We're kind of kindred spirits.
This is real estate for you guys, right?
Yeah, well, because I'm kind of the same way when I'm like looking at with like buyers and things like that. Like, I like to play pretend. I'll start walking through and be like, oh, we could do this over here. Wouldn't that be cool? Or what if we just knock this wall out, throw a few cabinets over there, do this and that. And then, sometimes, me and whoever it is, like the wife or girlfriend or whoever's kind of feeling it, and me and her messing around, someone's got to reel us back, be like, hey, this isn't the one.
Exactly.
So in your experience, I guess, we talked about the first 30 seconds. We can kind of get into it a little bit here, is like the curb appeal. If the house, looks immaculate inside, but, we pull up and it just, all the plants outside are dead. The driveway's cracked and kind of shifting. And, you kind of get that bad taste in your mouth almost too soon before you even get to see what's really going on inside.
Yeah.
What's, some of the importance of that?
Well, it's totally important. I mean, you want to make the curb appeal is just as important as the inside. Now, obviously there's situations where maybe the homeowner wants to, with pricing and all that, maybe they want to still get a good impact, but not spend as much money. So sometimes if the curb appeal isn't bad, I don't feel like you have to mess with it so much. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
But if it's always necessary, it's always important. It just makes you want to walk in. It's inviting, even if it's just down to a chair on the porch with a pillow on it, just something. It makes it look like someone lives there and someone cares about this house. You care enough about your porch, they probably care about the inside.
Right.
Yeah. They want to be able to see themselves there, right? See them on like the porch watching their kids play in the front yard, or, just hanging out, watching in the back, even, if the backyard's not cleaned up, they can't imagine their pets. Like we already kind of talked about the pets a little bit, back there running around and things like that. Justin, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, just going in curb appeal. One of the things I love to see with curb appeal is when people paint their front door. That was a thought I had when I think of curb appeal. Like when I go up to a house and like the color scheme works and it's like a nice, like a red door or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it really stands out and makes you kind of want to go inside and check out the rest of the house.
All of those little touches just say you care about your home. You care about this home. And if you care about your home, someone else is going to care about it too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So before we let you go, what is the easiest job you've had while you've been doing this? You walk in and someone's like, man, I don't know, we need this and this and that. And you walk in, you're like, you don't really need anything. Like, have you had anything like that?
I would say the easiest job for me is if it's already furnished, but they want me to come in and rearrange it and just make it pop. Like to me, that's, I don't want to say it's easy because you never want to,
Right. But you're just kind of putting more of a,
the stuff is there and I just got to make it look good. Right.
Yeah. Better feel to the house kind of. So it feels a little better.
Make it more inviting and all of that too.
Sometimes,
another quick question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say sometimes, a couch can be pushed against the wall and it needs to come forward more, or just the way you position furniture makes the flow so much better, just more inviting. And, that's fairly easy to do.
Oh yeah. Just shift it around a little bit ways, make it more open. And it's such a game changer. Cause I know a lot of times people have, like two couches in the living room, like a coffee table, but, opening it up or moving it around a little bit, just rather than it being as narrow and as enclosed, make it open, inviting. So you can, if it's connected to another room, it just feels all like one room,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So with property staging, just because I'm sure not a lot of people know, but what is the cost of something like that? What is the cost for them to have you come out, work your magic and make the house just look beautiful as can be?
Yes. So the day of staging, I charge by hour, and usually that's about 5 hours a day of staging. And then I let you rent the first 2 weeks. So you don't rent just 1 week, you have to do 2 for the first 2, if that makes sense. But then once the first 2 weeks are over, I let you rent by week. If you need to keep it past inspection or anything, I just let you do bi-weekly. So I feel like the setup, how I do it, is pretty unique because sometimes you have to rent it by the month, and I know real estate moves fast at times, and I want to keep moving just as quick as you guys are moving. So I feel like I feel like I'm pretty fair by adding like a weekly rental.
Oh yeah.
Along
that
with
makes sense.
Instead of making you stuck with a month and you don't need it for a month,
Exactly. Especially with the way listings been going as quick as they have been in today's market. It's like, I feel like you only need literally like not like a week just for, stage for pictures, and then, the first weekend of showings. And then after that, it's like, we're good. We're under contract.
And I will gladly stage just for pictures as well. Bring it in for a day, stage it, take it back. I mean, there's lots of different things that I can do to that goes along with staging.
I mean, that's still a better option in my opinion than, doctoring up all the pictures, with like some of the different like softwares that are out there, just because
Yes.
It's going to be every podcast I'm bringing up either movies or food. So this time we're getting movies. So think about like old action movies, right? Like we'll say Indiana Jones. You know, Indiana Jones is a lot of fun because when you watch them, you know that there's people doing these things, right? They're running around. Right. He's running from a giant boulder. It might not be a real boulder, but it's still a big giant ball following him, right? But then some of these newer movies, it's all CGI and fake, and you lose some of it, right? You lose a little bit of the imagination and all that stuff in there. So yeah, I'm totally on board with it.
Yeah. And you know how some people may say, you know, staging maybe it isn't important all the time, but I truly feel like it is. I mean, it's you really help tell the story of that house, and you know, and I just want to make you want to picture yourself in it. You know, I mean, a lot of people think for sale by owners, selling their own home, you know, is a good idea until you really get into it and you're like, what was I thinking? They don't realize how much time and work and effort it takes that you guys do, you know, on a daily basis for your clients. So I think they go hand in hand and they're really important.
Oh, most definitely. I agree 100% on that.
I agree. Yeah. It's a little more than just throwing a sign in the yard, for sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So we got the easiest job.
You okay?
What's the worst one you've been on? Maybe don't throw anybody under the bus or anything, but like, just, you know, kind of scenario wise, you walked in and you're like, I have no idea how this is going to work.
Gosh, I don't like saying anything negative. I really don't feel like I have been put into too many bad scenarios yet.
Yeah.
Now I know things like that will happen down the road.
Sure.
But to be honest, I don't feel like I've been in a situation where I can't think outside the box and figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And when that stuff happens, I guess, and when you see that happen, or maybe something I've done for a house that you have listed, if you see how I can work in a certain situation, I think that gains trust with you and you'll want to use me again.
I'm just imagining like someone like calling you over and you haven't seen any pictures and you walk in and there's just like a hole, like a 5-foot hole in the living room floor. Like, hey, you can work around this, right?
Yes. I have done a nice collage with the credenza and stuff to, you know, camouflage some things. Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Especially some houses, it's just so some iffy things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a part of the job, that's for sure.
That's what makes it fun though, right? Because none of these houses, they could be the same builders, same years, next door, but they're all a little different, right? They'll just have this one's been taken care of a little better. Someone has new this, new that. You know, it's just it's what makes the whole thing so much fun.
Yeah. Well, and I just really I've had the opportunity to be in so many houses in this area, and you know, for someone to let you inside their home, it, you know, that's something special. And I just really, you know, I just want to treat it with respect and just love being a part of it. I love helping everybody win, you know?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I can see it. Yes, the passion's there. I love it. Justin, do you have anything else you want to ask before we wrap this thing up?
No, I think every question I had is we're good.
Allison, you want to leave our listeners with anything before we sign off?
Well, I just, like I said, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to even talk to me, promote my business, and I would really love to work with you guys. Hopefully you'll get a hold of me in the future.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, yeah. And then next listing, if it needs staged or touched up or anything, definitely be sure to give you a call.
Yeah, awesome. And if you just even need any like tips or have any questions, you know, her number should be down next to her. We'll have her email there too. If you guys have any questions, be sure to reach out and ask her. And if you want the other side of it, you know, getting numbers and things like that rolling before we get the whole staging process started, be sure to give me or Justin a buzz.
Yes.
That's been us. I'm Kyle. He's Justin, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Easy peasy.
Yes.
Nice.
You're awesome.
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't know if I'm the best talking off the top of my noggin like that, so I'm really sorry.
No, you did fine.
I hope if you need to edit, please edit.
No, you did fine.
I honestly think, really, probably don't even need edited.
No, we almost never edit anyways, but it didn't.
Okay. I mean, I get that. That'd be a pain in the butt too.
No, I've done it that way before, but it just feels like people are talking. You know, when you're when you start getting real choppy and then there's like no like dead time for you to kind of process what I'm saying or vice versa, then it just sounds like, you know, we're like robots and playing like lightning, like telephone or something.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've edited them that way before and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll cut out all this dead stuff. I'll get rid of the likes and the ums and the
yeah.
you know, but then it's
I
like,
think I said absolutely too many times.
yeah, but then
Don't use that word again. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's how it sounds. Yeah, that's how people talk though. I mean, I was watching some movie. What was it? My niece was over the other day. It's called like Tall Girl 2 or something like that. It's on Netflix. She's like 11, so it's one of those movies. It's like the I'm not a kid anymore movie, but I'm not an adult yet movie. And that's how they were talking. Like they were just like face to face on their bed talking to each other. And there was like zero hiccups the whole way through. And I'm like, that's scary. Like that's not how people talk. And I talk a lot. Like
dude, that's what I'm saying. There's always gonna be like in there. There's gonna be an It's gonna be like, I don't know. It's just natural. It's just the way everyone talks. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, and that's what I like, the whole natural vibe of it all.
Yeah.
But I can definitely help you guys with your backgrounds. How about I wow you with a great background?
That'd be great. See, I don't mind mine. I like the peacock feathers.
No, yours is good. Yours is good.
There needs to be a little more. I just have to sit this way if I'm, you know, if we're making it.
You guys need to have your name here.
I got filing cabinet, big old filing cabinet, a blank wall. That's all you see. You see a little plaque, and yeah, that's about it.
No, but I'm definitely open. Because I was even thinking something like, because I like what you have, because I have something similar to that shelving wise downstairs in the living room, and then we have like our whole wall of shiplap to go with that.
Yeah, there you go.
And that looks pretty good. So I was even thinking like shelves like that. I'm sure you've seen them where they're like the tiered ones where they get bigger as they go down.
Yes.
Like something like that back there wouldn't look bad.
Yeah. Have you guys named there you go.
See, we just had a switch from like right here to this.
Can we redo this?
Like Superman It's like Superman jumping in the phone booth.
Oh shoot. No, you guys, honestly, it just made my background look so good. And hopefully you guys will hire me because you know what I can do.
Sure.
See?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And seriously though, yeah, it does look. It's kind of like we're just sitting here with our dumb. Like you can see the corner of my wall. It's hit the corner of his wall. Yours looks good. I feel like everybody is sitting like
documents, just hanging out.
I'm totally kidding.
It's a true dude background. That's right, to say the least.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
I hate to say it because I'm very minimal, and that's why you just see a blank wall.
My wife.
And that looks like I have a gift shop behind me.
Right.
No, yours looks good. Yeah.
You got us.
The extent of my decoration is done by my wife. Like I didn't do any of that.
That looks great.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all you need.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm always sitting this way to like hide the negative space. It's just funny.
That's why I'm always like this. Right, you see a blank wall, then my big old filing cabinet.
That wall gets shiny though. Look how shiny the wall is. It looks like the sun's.
Oh, I know.
Yes. Go a little lower. Look like a halo sitting right on top of you.
Yes.
There you
go. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll let you go. I want to go a little early for selfish reasons. There's a soccer game on I wanted to watch.
No worries. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to hopefully working with you guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Soon, when something comes up, you'll be hearing from me.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
Yep, you too.
You too. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.